Hello and welcome to Inside the Synod. I'm Sebastian Gomes. Well, yesterday the final reports of the 13 small language groups on Part 3 of the Instrumentum Laboris were presented, and along with them more than 500 propositions were submitted to the group of 10 who are responsible for drafting the final text of the Synod. Now that brings the total number of propositions submitted by the small groups to this commission over these 3 weeks to more than 1,300. So no easy task, obviously, for that commission that's working on the final text now. But let's take a look at some of the major themes that emerged from these final reports of the 13 small language groups. And remember, this part of the Instrumentum Laboris was dealing with very concrete pastoral situations. First, many groups repeated that the Synod must thank and encourage Christian families. Everyone is in agreement on this. Families doing their best to live the Christian life are owed recognition by the Synod. They are primary evangelizing agents. Too much emphasis on crises. Even in the face of enormous challenges, the Synod should offer a message of hope, encouragement, and support to all families. What concrete pastoral paths can the Church open? In other words, how does the Church put the many words of the Synod into concrete action? Some groups said the final document should include very concrete proposals. A listening church. Many bishops have picked up on Pope Francis's address last Saturday and made the point that the Church today cannot just be a church that teaches, but it has to be one that listens to people, especially to families that have broken down. The role of conscience. What is it? How does it relate to the teachings and disciplines of the Church? Some groups asked, what does a formed conscience look like today? Communion for divorced and remarried Catholics. The groups admitted that there were differing opinions on this important matter. Many say the Church's teaching should not and cannot be changed. Some say more theological reflection is needed. One group said that it is a doctrinal question and should only be dealt with at an ecumenical council. Still others invited the Synod to explore some paths of reconciliation. Chastity and sexuality. The Church must find a way to communicate chastity and the Church's understanding of sexuality as virtuous and as a gift. It's something positive and freeing, not limiting. It applies to every person. Some groups asked, what does a positive formation in chastity look like today? Marriage preparation and formation. The Church needs to make a new and concerted effort on this front and reach out to those who are not living the ideal. It was said that married couples should be the protagonists of this formation. Homosexuality. Some groups said that the Church must uphold its teaching, but find new ways to welcome and accompany gay people. One group said the Synod must be absolutely clear that within Christian families, gays are loved and cared for with full support and sensitivity. Another group said further discussion is needed on the pastoral care of gays, possibly even another Synod. Some groups said the Synod should say something about the formation of priests. They are the people working with families in complex and ambiguous situations. They cannot be forgotten. Finally, mixed marriages. Many bishops spoke at this Synod about this reality and pastoral challenge. Some groups said they should be seen positively as offering a richness to the community. Church teaching, though, should play a role in marriage preparation. And there were many other topics discussed as well. What's becoming clear is that this Synod will not be the end of the discussion. There are so many different views and opinions theologically and pastorally, so many complex issues. And remember that whatever the Synod produces at the end of it, Pope Francis always has the final say in what will be the authoritative teaching that comes out of this Synod. Now, another issue that we have to discuss is where the doctrine of the Church intersects with the pastoral activity of the Church. This has been an underlying theme throughout these 3 weeks, and it's a very important question. And today at the press briefing, Cardinal Reinhard Marx, who's the president of the German Bishops' Conference, spoke about this important issue, and we wanted to share what he had to say.
I'm astonished that many people speak about doctrine. They have no idea what is doctrine. We have different levels. Opinio, certa, de fide definita, de fide, revealed, truth, doctrine of the Church, and so on and so on. So that's the first point. The doctrine is the tradition of the Church. The doctrine of the Church is not a closed shop, but a living tradition. Between Casti Connubii, the encyclica of Pius XI, and Familiaris Consortio is a way. It's not the same. Between Vatican Council I and II is a way. It's not the same. I cannot understand that these normal things are not clear. It's clear. We don't change the truth, but we find the greater truth. The truth is owning us. We don't own the truth. The truth is a person we meet. That's the point. And I think, and the second point is pastoral and doctrine is not opposite. We make the doctrine, and then we look how to make the application. That was not the idea. So the pastoral and the doctrine is together. What will you do with the doctrine without living it? It's not per se a book. And so I think we cannot say that is only a pastoral synod, only a pastoral council. That was the discussion in Vatican II also. No? That is always together. But the different point is, and there is, Napier is absolutely right, the synod is not a council. The synod is not, has not the capacity to make magisterial documents. That is absolutely clear. Well, it's counseling the Pope and it's convocated to make proposals, but there is no magisterial competence, so we cannot decide about doctrine in this sense. That's absolutely clear.
Fascinating. Well, the Synod is not over yet, and our coverage continues tomorrow. We have a special episode of Inside the Synod for you, an extended interview with Cardinal Vincent Nichols of Westminster in England. He sat down with our own Father Thomas Rosica to discuss the Synod, what's been happening, and what we can expect to come out of it in the end. But that's all for this episode. For Salt and Light Television, I'm Sebastian Gomes in Rome.